I'll be back to hold you down. I don't wanna
Said I'll be back to hold you down. I don't wanna leave.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's TYRATHERD, and today we're taking it back to the basics. We are going to be discussing the do's and don'ts of locks in 2023. Whether you already have locks or you're thinking about starting your locks, you know, this is for everybody. This is just going to be a general to do and to not do. So let's get into it. So the first do is ask yourself these questions. Why do I want locks? Am I willing to stay patient through the locking process? Will I do the research needed in order to be successful in this process? Am I ready to wear my natural hair most of the time? Am I ready to put my relationship with my natural hair to the test? Am I ready to accept myself aesthetically in a more natural, stripped down way? Am I ready to not fit into typical societal beauty standards? Am I ready for that? I feel like a lot of people aren't being honest with themselves. I feel like y'all get on TikTok and you get on Instagram and you see the pretty girls with the blonde locks and you're like, yeah. And then you lock up and your locks are like this short the first day and you like, no. And I know that locks are starting to get really popular on social media. Recently, it just feels like there's been like an influx of lock content and lock creators and people starting their locks and documenting their journeys, which is a beautiful thing. But I feel like a lot of people get caught up in the whimsical perfection of what you see on social media when it comes to locks, and you aren't really taking a hard look at what this process actually looks like if you're going to start from scratch. Ask yourself those questions and be really honest with yourself about what your hair texture is, how you view your own natural hair, and if you are prepared to go through the different phases if you're starting from scratch, because it is not for the weak. And that's just the truth. I ain't got no reason to lie. Do be honest with yourself, but don't look at other people online and expect that for yourself. No one set of locks is exactly the same. So you can look at other people's journeys and take notes and try to, you know, use their same formula and the same exact products, but nobody's locks is exactly the same. The expectation should be to use the people you see on social media as inspiration, not as an exact guide or blueprint. Set realistic expectations for your hair. Do your research. So when I was in high school, my best friend used to watch girls who were documenting their lock journeys. I'm talking about people like, what was their names? Like On Deck, Apples and Mustard, Jessica Locs. This was back in the 2010s. I was like 15, 16, and we just would binge watch all of their journeys and their videos. I ended up starting my locks in 2012, 2013. But before I did, I watched so many YouTube videos. I read so many blogs, so many articles. I did so much research so that I knew exactly what I was going in for and what would be realistic for my hair type, and what I wanted the outcome to be. When you start your locks, how you start is how you gonna finish. So if you start with a jacked up parting grid, guess what? 6 months later down the road, when you can't yank that thing in a ponytail because one over here and one over there. Take what you see on the internet, on social media, especially with a grain of salt, and do your own research. Do your own research. There are people who are on social media right now who will tell you not to wash your hair the first 6 months that you get locks. Now, does that make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? Matter of fact, let's take it a step back. So If you're thinking about starting your locks in 2023, I need you to research all of these things I'm about to give you. Number one, what type of locks do you want? You want micro locks? You want sister locks? You want thick locks? You want standard size locks? You want wigs? What kind of locks do you want? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. What kind of parting style do you want? Or do you even care about parting styles? Look at people who have box parting, diamond parting, rounded parting, freeform, semi-freeform. You need to do research and see what kind of parting system you think will look good on you. I started out with diamond parting because one of my favorite lock YouTubers, she had diamond parts, and she explained that diamond parts allow your locks not to look so spacious. Do you want to start with comb coils, 2-strand twist, braid locks, twist? I've seen people start with box braids. Like, go get literally box braids and just start retwisting the new growth that comes. Like, there's so many different ways you can start, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. It's just preference. But you won't know your preference until you do the research and really start looking into what kind of locks you want. So here was my stats when I started. I started out with 64 locks with the diamond part system, 2-strand twist. But I've also started a set of locks with comb coils. If y'all want a video on the differences between starting with comb coils versus 2-strand twists, I will gladly get that to y'all, because there is a stark difference between the two. This is a big one. Don't depend on other people to take care of your hair. And this goes for the loose natural girls too. Like, I'm starting to see more and more people say we need to learn how to do our own hair. One, because these locticians, hairstylists, they're out of control. The prices are crazy. The customer service is crazy. I got a whole nother video on that. Y'all go watch my loctician horror stories. I'm done with them, okay? I see a lot of people's hair go off the rails and end up in a horrible state because they depend on other people. They can't do anything with their own hair. Now, me, for years, and it's documented here on YouTube, I wasn't able to do my own hair. I tried to do my own retwist at like 2 months, and it was a total fail. Now that my hair has matured way more, I'm coming up on 5 years, I can do a light retwist if I need to. If you can master doing your own hair, first of all, you're gonna save so much money. And your hair is probably gonna end up in a way healthier state, especially if you know what you're doing. If you take your time, figure out the research, figure out the products that work best, don't overdo it, don't over retwist, your hair is probably going to be chef's kiss, immaculate. Do prepare yourself for imperfection. A lot of us, especially Black women, have been conditioned to hating our natural hair. You know, that's why there's, you know, so many Black women out here with like crazy shelves and shelves and shelves of natural hair products. If more women, especially Black women, started rejecting these ridiculous societal standards of what our hair should or should not look like, I feel like a lot of these natural hair companies would go out of business. They make money off of the fact that you feel like you need 6 different products and need to spend 24 hours managing your hair on a wash day. So I feel like when people decide to get locks and you coming off of having a 40-inch bust down weave, and you used to having long braids or long twists or wigs, or you used to having a lot of length and thickness and volume on your head, and then you have to change to this. I feel like that's hard for some people. You gotta be up for the challenge of imperfection. And I need you to sit with that. And that's why a lot of people give up at month 3, month 4. They can't take it. And I get it, because society tells you, our community even tells you, long hair makes women feminine. Long hair makes women attractive and beautiful. And all of those things can make you beautiful, but also they aren't the requirement for beauty. You can be beautiful with not a strand of hair on your head. I need you to prepare yourself for imperfection. I need you to be prepared for the days where you wake up and your locks are it looks like you got electrocuted. I need you to be prepared for that. I need you to be prepared for the mornings you wake up and it's frizz city. It's frizz city. It's frizz everywhere. I need you to be prepared for some to unravel in the beginning stages. I need you to be prepared for some to come loose. I need you to be prepared for some to thicken up before the other ones. I need you to be prepared to not put it in a ponytail. It may or may not go in a ponytail. Even if it does go in a ponytail, I don't feel like you should always put your hair up. Even I have to work on that. Not putting my hair up as much because it causes tension and you start thinning out way earlier the more tension you put on your hair on a regular basis. I need you to be prepared for imperfection. Be prepared to get a retwist and to not feel cute. Be prepared to have hair that doesn't touch your neck. Even the girls who start their locks with long hair and then they do the first month with their 2-strand twists and their hair stops about here, even they go through shrinkage. I've seen a girl go from here the first month and the second month she was up here. It happens. I need you to be prepared not to lay your edges and cake them edges up, cake the perimeter up with edge control and gel every time you walk out the house. I need you to be prepared with not having every single strand laying perfectly flat and adjacent to the other. I need you to be prepared not to put mousse on. I know the TikTok girls are telling you to do the swoop with the mousse and the claw clip in the back, and I got a claw clip in right now, but I need you to know that's not an everyday thing. You're not gonna look like that every day, or your hair gonna thin out. I need you to prepare yourself for imperfection, because it's coming. Like a train on wheels. Having your hair simplified down to just some 2-strand twists or some comb coils, it's different. And a lot of people ain't ready for that. I'm not gonna say they're not strong enough, but a lot of people aren't ready for it. It was really difficult for me, especially in college. I went from wearing big hair to having little hair like this, and I really had to just walk out my dorm and be like, and what about it? And what about it? Some people liked it, some people didn't. I don't care, because now you see it. Now you see it. Oh, okay then. So yeah, guys, that's my video. Hopefully you learned something. I don't have any other updates for you. I think that's it. So I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.